Hello everyone, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today we're going to be doing the next step in our Robocop 2 build, the arms. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to look at all four arms, the techniques that I did on them, little hints and what have you with the arms, and then we're going to be attaching them to the body. Just remember, I also have other videos before this that are part of this build. So I have an unboxing and then I have like I think 2 or 3 videos before this. So check those out. And if you like any of these videos, go ahead and hit that share, subscribe, and the thumbs up. They're small clicks for you, but it'll really help this channel grow. So without any further ado, let's get into this build. All right, so I just finished the right arm, okay? So let's take a good look at it. I did add the American flag decal to it, all right? There's no option for a paint that's either a decal or not, unless if you're a really good painter and you can paint that on there, then, you know, you're a better man than me. But, so we're going to start from the shoulder and work our way down talking about this. Now, there's a lot of joints in here, so before you start gluing anything together, make sure that it's something that needs to be glued together, that it isn't a joint. For example, you got this upper shoulder, you got these two pieces that go together that hold this shoulder piece in. Watch how you put this in here. See how you can see the top of the shoulder piece here. You want that like that, because if you put it in like another way, like I almost did, to where it was like hitting up against here, so be careful with that. You got an arm swivel right here. Now this is an option to glue if you prefer to glue it, you know, whatever, but it does have a little bit of movement there. So you got an arm swivel, and then you have this joint here. Now, something you're going to have to watch, because once again, the directions don't tell you, is there's a peg here that you can glue in, but don't glue here, because you got your joint here. See how that moves in there? So if you glue this piece to this piece, you won't get that movement in there. That joint will not move, you know, and you lose out on that. All right. You got another swivel here. All right. So that's another spot that you don't glue. All right, now before you start putting all this together, these two hoses right here, all right, they go in. So before, because this is two pieces that go together, so you have this side, and then it clamps in. So before you put this on, get those hoses in there. Now these hoses are cut to the same length as the other ones, which is 5 centimeter. I know in the other video I said 5 inches, and that was my error. It's actually centimeters, so, you know, conversion. So you glue these into, so I did it like I did the other hoses, a little bit longer. So I did it a hair longer. If you want to see anything about my measurements, go ahead and watch the last video where I did the body, and you'll see how I measured out, you know, the hoses. But it's basically the same thing here, and then they just go into there. I did glue these in there. All right, so now you also have this joint here, which is an easy to move joint, so you don't want to glue that in. You have a hand swivel, so the hand does move. All right, and then the thumb. Okay, so like I said, you got a lot of moving parts here. That's optional. I mean, if you're somebody who prefers to glue it all into one place, that's you too. Now the thing is his fingers here. Let's bring this here, okay? You can move the fingers, but the problem with moving the fingers is, if you look in here, this is your joint for the fingers. They're going to want to try to walk off on you. So as you see, I move this. You can see that just comes out. It doesn't break. You know, it does stay in there pretty well. So once you move it into position, like if you want this finger like that and this one like that, once you're in position, it stays. It doesn't wobble. So, but just be aware of that every time you move these fingers, see, as you can see there, they will walk off on you. But let me get that back in there. But like I said, they go back on easy enough. I think it would have been better if they would have did the fingers in 2 pieces. So see how you have this, let me get my pointer back here. See how you have this little, this little butt here? I think this should have been a peg that went in and then connected the finger, that way it doesn't slide out. But other than that, I think the arm is pretty well designed. You know, a lot of these joints are pretty good. Like I said, they just don't explain to you where to glue and where not to. And I'm not going to glue this shoulder piece in. So what you do is you bring your body over here. This arm just slides into there. And now you have that arm. And that will move and so forth. Alright. So that's that arm. It's on. I'm not gluing that in. If you want to glue it into a certain position, you can. But this way, you know, you get your arm movements. Alright. So that's the first arm of 4. So next, I believe I will be doing the arm that goes in here. I'm already started work on that. So we'll see how that turns out as well. Alright, so here's the second arm, or what you can consider the main arm, because I know he has 2 utility arms as well, which I will also be doing. This is the one with the Gatling gun on it. You know, it wasn't that bad to put together. A lot of intricate pieces. Now, a couple of things you want to note is that in here, you got a couple of joints that you don't want to glue. So be careful of that in the directions. So this opens up. Fingers kind of move. And then you also have a thumb joint in here as well. Alright, so that kind of comes out, which is kind of cool. And then it just fits in nicely in here. These fingers are a lot easier to work with than the ones on the other hand. As I showed in the previous part of this video, those fingers just fall apart, you know, as you try to move them. The Gatling gun wasn't so hard to put together. The chain, the way how they make you do it, is pretty easy. You know, I took a couple of liberties with some of the color, so I added like kind of like a more silvery look to the pistons. Add a gloss color for the cable. All right. Now you have this joint up here. This is the same as it is on the other arm. Same with here. Now here's a problem. You got this joint right here. All right, due to the chain, you know, your belt feed for your gun, and this piston, you can't get any movement. Oops, come on, get in the focus. You can't get any movement out of that joint. Now, something you may want to do is, if you gingerly do it, you can move the arm like that, and now you got some movement. But at this point, I don't know how well that will work when you connect it to the body. And I'm going to guess if you keep moving it like that, eventually you might break this or that. If you're somebody into modifications, what you might want to do is just cut down that shoulder piece of hair, which will probably allow you to get that movement like right up in here. If you cut a little bit of this off, you might get that movement. It just won't look as good. So that's probably a design flaw within the figure when they built it. But other than that, everything else on this arm came together really well. So let's see how well this hooks into the body. All right, so here we got the body here. All right, the arm plugs into this socket here, similar to this arm. All right, so let's see how well this all pops together. All right. So that actually clicks in. There. Oops, no, not quite. There it goes. All right. So now that arm is on. It moves. No issues with it. All right. So now he has both of the main arms on. All right. Let me try that theory with the piston. As you see, I don't even think that will work, because if you look in here, come on, get focused. There it goes. If you look in here, put my hand in there. Look in here, you can see that the ammo belt is colliding with this part of the body. So you'll probably just have to maneuver it however you want. Now let's try this with the piston in. Yeah, see, doing it that way, that piston's going to interfere with the body, so you really can't do it that way. So you're going to have to leave it the way it was meant to be, just like that. It's just now you're going to lose movement in that arm. So that's the only thing I don't like about this, is this right here. I wish they would have either pushed the piston down or maybe made this shoulder piece, whoops, in frame, made this shoulder piece, you know, just a little bit higher so the piston can go through it. But other than that, that arm is on. So next we'll start working on the utility arms. All right, so now the last two arms to be built are the two utility arms. So you got the torch arm, and then you have the claw arm. Both of them pretty much go together the same way. So you have a joint right here. All right, these two pieces come together, and there's a swivel in here. All right, then you got one more joint right here that allows it to go back and forth. All right, now with this, if you notice, I did the copper, but I did it a little bit more dark, not so bright as he did in the on the box art. The same here. I did a copper, and then I did it a quick wash with a gray, just to give it a little bit of a beat and look used to it. All right, and then you connect this cord. Now, this hose here, okay, that you see right there, when you're taking it off the sprue, just be careful. This is really thin. If you're somebody who likes to twist your parts off of the sprue, you may want to just take a pair, either X-Acto knife or maybe a pair of dikes, and cut it off, because this is really flimsy and you can run the risk of breaking that really easy. So that's something to be careful about when putting this arm together, is definitely that. Other than that, these arms are by the numbers. There's nothing really unique or spectacular about them. It's the same with this one here. It's practically the same setup. You got all the same points of articulation. So you got, you know, oops, sorry, my hand. So you got this joint here, up here. All right. You got that swivel. All right. Then you got a joint here. And now you got your claw. All right. Now your claw is interchangeable. So you got two claws. So you have the close, and then you got the open. It comes off very easily. Goes on just as easy. No issues with it. All right. So pop that back on. So let's see how well these arms go. Now this one will be the arm that goes underneath the Gatling gun. And then this one will be the one that actually goes underneath the arm with the hand. So let's put these on. All right, we're going to do this one first. So as you see right here, let's get our pointer. This is the hole here. Whoops. Where that goes in. Now, just like the other arm, it just pops right in there. You just got to work it on in there. And then, boom, it's in. No issues, no problems. And then, like in the movie, you just spin it up. And now it's in, you know, position, I guess, you know, rest position, I guess you could call it, however you want to do it. So as you see, it just moves up there really nice, no issues. All right, this arm, we're going to lift that up like that. Got the same hole right here. All right, get this one. Goes in just like all the others. It just pops right in there. And come on, just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so as you see, that arm is on as well. And move this big guy out of the way. So we'll go that way with it. All right, there we go. And then this just folds right up. All right, so now both of your utility arms are in the dormant position. As you can see, the cannon will go around it. It's a little bit tight because you got your belt and then your ammo feed. So that causes some interference. But as you see, it moves, it works. It just kills some of your mobility. All right. So that's the only flaw. And that just seems to be, once again, this arm. This arm seems to be the problem issue.
more or less, like I said earlier, it's because, bring it like this, these pistons hit right up in here. So it makes it hard to move the arm. Unless if, once again, like I said, you can move that like that. But now it'll still interfere. It'll actually interfere more because now everything wants to hit in here. So I think what would really fix this flaw, I hate to say it, is if this arm was down maybe just a hair. Like if this joint came down just a little bit more, or this piston was just a hair shorter, it would probably work a lot better. So right now, the only issues I really have with this figure at this point in time is this arm. It really makes it hard to do a lot with it, you know, because yeah, that's in there. So, you know, you get a little bit of clanking with that, but for the most part, you know, it's not a major issue. It's not a make or break for me. So with that, we're done with the arms. In the next video, I will be doing the legs. All right, so the next video will be his legs, and then I'll be attaching them. And then after them, the following video will be me going through the figure, looking at how he compares with the NECA figures. So those are going to be two really cool and interesting videos. So I hope you will stay with us for those videos as well. All right, so I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that share, subscribe, and like buttons. They're small clicks for you, but it really helped this channel grow. So until the next one, later.